What is up, everybody? Welcome back. Inferno here, back on the Sky Factory. So last time we took a look at the Beneath Dimension, did a little exploring in there, got beat up by the Gru guy a couple times. Still haven't really looked to see if there's any way to do anything about that guy. But we also got started on looking at this void ore miner and figuring out kind of how that works. So I've kind of brushed up on how this works, or supposed to work. And I think I've got at least a basic grasp of it, at least for this first tier. So let's get started. Awesome. So just trying to decide where I want to put this thing. Also, while I'm thinking about it, I'm going to have to power it somehow, I'm sure. So let's see if we have any, we got these. Let me go ahead and make one of these. Do I have enough stuff for that? No, I need some cores. So I need two of these cores, right? Two of those. Two of those. And we okay, two of these guys, and that should be good for that. Sweet. Put this back. Awesome. So during my little homework assignment there, I figured out it doesn't really explain it in this book very well. It's not super detailed written. You need this guy. I guess you don't technically need it, but this thing is kind of like the power core thing over there, where it doesn't show you the thing, but as long as you have all the stuff in your inventory, it kind of builds it for you. But in order to do that, so I made one of those guys. What's the thing called? Controller. Environmental controller, tier 1. So it's one of those lenses, laser core, the diamond, and iron ore. Some blocks of gold and quartz. Not too crazy expensive, right? And then you actually need this assembler thing too, which it doesn't, I don't think, mentions anything about. In order to get that, some obsidian and a tier 2 hardened stone. So it's a tier 1 with diamond and redstone. So now, let me grab a couple blocks of this. It's my wireless thing, yeah. Okay. Where should I put this thing? I kind of want to, I guess since I've started it, I want to go ahead and I'll check it out. We've got a cow back over here. Sweet. See how long that took to spawn that cow? It's been hours and hours, and that's all that I've got over here is one stinking cow. It could be because I've spent a lot of time closer to that thing too, but still, it's just crazy slow compared to like hostile mobs. Anyway, back to the back to the subject. So yeah, what was I saying? So since I've kind of started the trend, I might as well continue, just like putting this stuff like floating in the middle of nowhere. So I think maybe over here, kind of like balance this out a little bit, right? A little bit of symmetry action. I think it's gonna build up. So if let me do it like to this level. Just want to build out a couple this way. Let's go a couple more just in case this thing gets massively big like that thing over there does. And then come out this way a couple. Actually, you know what? Right there's probably good. So let's break this stuff down. And let's see. I think what I'm supposed to be able to do is put this down, and then take that assembler and just right click, and every time you right click it adds a couple blocks. So before it gets too far into what it's trying to do there, I want to break that cobblestone out. Boom. And then let's finish this thing up. And I guess that's it. And so then I'm going to have to power this thing somehow. I don't exactly know where to hook up power to. um, I'm trying to see. It looks like it's doing something, right? It's shooting laser beams at the void, looking for bedrock. I'm trying to find like a GUI or some kind of interface, like an inventory and maybe power information, or I'm sure it needs power because the books even said something about the RF usage, didn't it? Yeah, so it's got a 1 million RF energy buffer, and it's using 320 RF per duration, whatever that means. Is that a tick, or is that per operation, like mining operation? I don't know. So let's go ahead and break this stuff down just to get it out of the way and done. How can I take that off now? Maybe this guy tells me something? Nope. Is that thing still doing a thing? Probably not, because I took the controller off, right? Was it not completely finished? Or did I just break that thing by accident because that pick is just stupidly powerful? Shift right click. How do I... Oh, alright. Let me pause it here, and I'm going to come back and see how to access this thing and power it and make it do what it's supposed to do. So we'll be right back. Alright, so welcome back here. I think I figured it out. Probably could have figured this out on my own, but I just didn't want to spend a bunch of time screwing around, not knowing what I was doing. So let me grab my my little wrench dude out of here. This thing, give me that. Let's can I link that to this? Yep, and then so basically the controller, which makes sense, is the thing that does all the cool stuff. Even though I don't believe it has a GUI, which is kind of a shame. But what I should be able to do is see if I have a chest in here. I've got this ender chest. I don't want to use that. Okay, here we go. This should work just for demonstration and making sure purposes. So basically, just have to put power on one side of this thing anywhere, and then I think the same thing with the. There we go. Sweet. It's the same thing with the inventory. It just has to touch this controller so at some point. Unfortunately, yeah, it's kind of a shame that it doesn't have a GUI to kind of give you any information, but I guess you're just supposed to know that as long as that thing's shooting a laser beam, that it's doing what it's supposed to do. Even though technically it was doing that before we put any power on it. So that anyway, you can see we're starting to collect some stuff, so that's cool. This is what I wanted, so that's good. I think the according to JEI here, the dimensional shard was a 7.5 chance with this white lens, which I believe is what's in there. Yeah, white lens. So we've got a 7% chance. I don't know what the other percent chances are, but does this tell me all the different... Okay, yeah. So looks like with this, is that... Okay, so it gives you the base chance and then the preferred chance based on whatever color lens you put in. So these are all the types of ore. Dimensional, coal, iron, blah, blah, blah. So it looks like pretty much all the types of ore. This Lonsdale Dalitite, whatever that stuff is, that's part of this particular mod. That's a ore that it adds. I have seen it a couple times in some of the recipes, just trying to figure the best ways to do things. So that's cool that it does that. I'm not really sure what it's used for, but I'm sure it's going to come into play here later when we start upgrading this thing to like tier 2 and stuff. So I think that's what I want to do now that we've got this thing kind of up and running. I think my next step is, it seems not to be going crazy fast, so I think this chest would be good enough for right now as far as collecting the stuff that thing's going to be collecting. Yeah, let's go with that. So let's get rid of all this stuff. Let's see about pull out the old book here and see what we need to get to tier 2. And see if that's going to require any crazy stuff that we don't have yet. So tier 2 is going to be 32 structure blocks, 16 machine base, 4 modifier cores, 4 mod cores. I'm just writing this stuff down so I don't have to keep pulling this book out. And a laser, whatever color laser. Laser lens. Better write that down. Tripped me up last time. So I think the one laser lens is probably going to be universal, right? It's just all the other blocks that are going to have to grow. So my next question is to myself here, kind of, is that 32 including the 24 that's already there from tier 1? Or do I have to have 32 additional? So I guess what I'll do is just make what it says and see if I have any left over, right? So let's put that up. Let's kind of get this stuff out of the way a little bit. I don't probably need that right now. Alright, let's go back. Let's see if we can come up with these materials here. So I know it didn't say, but I've learned from experience that I'm going to need a tier 2 controller, which is a clear lens. Okay, there's a clear lens. 3 tier 1s. Ah, man. So I guess could go take that one off. Alright, let's just take that off. Let me pick this stuff up. Give me that. So I need 2 more of these. And that makes me wonder now for sure that. Alright, I'll tell you what. Let me just take all this stuff out. Because I have a feeling it's going to, like, the 32 that this thing's asking for is going to count this 24 that it's already here. And I probably could just leave it here and it would just build around it, but I'm doing it for science, man. We'll just tear this down and go straight to tier 2. Probably should have just done that to begin with, but it's okay. I was learning how this works. So let's go ahead and put all this stuff in here. So I've got one of those already, so I need 2 more tier 1s. Let's make 2 more of these. So I'm going to need 3 more of these, if I recall. 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Three of those. Actually, I probably only need 2 of those, but I'm sure I'm going to need them for other stuff too, so no worries there. Need some block of quartz. 2 of those. Hey, come back here. Where'd that thing go? This. 2 of these. Cool. So, tier 2. I think I should have all this stuff now. What am I missing? Blocks of diamond. Oh yeah, because I've been using the hell out of those. no doubt there. Alright. There we go. So that's tier 2. Got 1 laser core and a clear lens. Do I still have my white lens? Did I put that in here? Yeah. Let's get that out, because I think that's going to be our main focus lens thing, right? So I got the controller, 32 structure blocks, which are these, but I need tier 2. That's all tier 2. All right, structure Let's do stone structure tier 2. So I probably should make a recipe for this, right? Because this is turning into one of those deals where you're just going to have to keep making a bunch of the lower tier stuff to make the next tier up. And that's the kind of stuff where I definitely don't want to have to keep doing it by hand. So I can take some of this reactor stuff out because I'm pretty much done with the structure stuff. I'm just waiting on diamonds to finish that off. I'm gonna pull that out. That cobblestone thing can come out. Hardened stone I'll leave. I think that's good. Let me make some more. Excuse me. Let me make some more patterns. Got 30 here. That's good. Okay, cool. So let's put this in here. Go back to the environmental tech. Do that down here too. Right, so I've got clear glass, hardened stone, machine base, and enriched sand. So I'm going to need to teach this thing this. So let's teach it a block of quartz. Let's teach it a block of gold. Teach it the lens. Teach it the clear lens. Teach it the laser core. So that's tier 1. I guess I can go ahead and teach it block of diamond. So I already got those, so I should be able to just teach it this now. I'm assuming I have places to put all this stuff. That should be enough to teach it, or to, for it to auto-craft the tier 2. And I already built that though, didn't I? Yeah, that was probably not the best way to go about all that. Whatever, we'll leave that in there. So then the next thing was these stone things. Did I show that thing this already? I don't think I did. I think I showed it kind of all the other recipes in there though. So this, give me that. That's not what I wanted to do. Just put that in. Damn it. Teach it this. And teach it this. So, yeah, okay, so I see how it's going to go now. It's a good thing I did tear all that stuff down, because then that's 24 less of these that I have to make to turn into tier 2, right? So that works out. And I've got 2 more spots here, which is handy dandy. Cool, okay. So I need 32 of those. Whoops, that's not it. 32. 32. And go. Do the thing. It should be able to do all that pretty quick. Yep. Awesome. So that's that. 16 machine base. That's less than the other one, so I'm assuming those are going to be additive. What's the machine base? Is that... Machine base. Okay. So well, maybe these iron bars. Let me just make sure I've got a bunch of those. You know what? I do have a bunch from the Ender Dragon, right? So I should be able to just... I don't like to teach this thing one-step recipes unless it's like something that I want to be able to do a whole lot of while I'm not standing here watching. Just because it fills up the crafter inventories. Let me get a couple stacks of those. If it becomes an issue, I'll at least teach it how to make those things. So that was 15. I'm going to go ahead and say 36 altogether. I have a feeling I'm going to need. It's 25, 11 more. I'm out of hardened stone. Give me a couple more stacks of that. 36 of those. Awesome. Okay, so that's the controller, the structure blocks, machine base, 4 modifier cores. Is that what that said? Give me 1 laser core. So that's 2 altogether. Because I needed 2 for the tier 1, and then these were called modifier cores, not laser cores. Those are color lenses, modifier core. Base modifier can be used in place of any modifier. Speed modifier. That's with the solar panels, yeah. Increases accuracy, works on void miners. Flight modifier. I don't think that's for the night vision, haste, strength, water, regen. Yeah, so none of that applies to the miner. I think it's just this one, maybe this one, and this one. Blocks of iron, stone, and that glass stuff. That's pretty easy there. That's just a regular modifier core with this stuff added to it. And accuracy. I'm just going to stick with the base ones for now. I'm not really sure what the other ones are going to do. That's something I can play with off screen. Like, especially, I'm going to go ahead and just try to shoot this thing to tier 4 as quick as I can, depending on if I have to go wait for it to vine a bunch of stuff. It's doing it for the vines, baby. If I don't have to wait for this thing to mine a bunch of crazy stuff. Is that just regular stone? Okay. Make me a couple stacks of that, dude. What's your problem? Why didn't you just have that stuff ready? That's one thing I wish this thing had. I wish you could set, and there might be I guess you can technically do it with like you'd have to do a bunch of machines and do it for each type of item. You could kind of set it up like this guy, where you run it into an inventory and then back into the system and say, okay, I want at least X amount of these always ready to go. But that just seems tedious. There should be a way to set this thing up with like some kind of a control mechanism that you could teach it, even if it was from patterns, and teach it, recipes and say, okay, I want X amount of these, I want X amount of these, always, as long as I have the stuff in the system, just make sure they're ready to go, right? That would be cool. It doesn't do that. I wish it did. All right, and I got my laser lens. So, hopefully, in theory here, of course I broke my floating block that it was on. So let me grab half a stack or so of this and build this guy out here a little ways. I think that's probably okay. Pop this down. Break these all back out and hit it with the job and see what happens. Is it done? It doesn't seem like, I don't see anything missing. I see my 4 modifier cores, machine bases. It seems to be complete. White lens. I don't want that in there. I want the white lens. So if I, I'm falling. I'm falling. if I if I if I put some power into this dude, is it gonna make some magic for me? I think there was a way somehow that it would like tell you if you had what you needed. Okay, so shift right clicking with the assembler on a part. A stone machine base. And how many of those were left over? 20? Okay, so that did use less than, it only used 16 of them then. So yeah, if you shift right click on with this thing on a block in here, it breaks it immediately. Okay, so left click. Blocks required. 32 structure blocks, 16 for 3 laser cores, 4 modifier cores, and a clear lens or any colored version. So that looks like a laser core there. Right? That's a laser core. That's a laser core. And I'm pretty sure it's sitting on top of a laser core. If I pull that out. Was I short a core? Is that what I was missing? Alright, give me one of those. I think that's what I was missing. So that maybe that explains what was going on. Alright, so if I put this back in here, put this on top. No, that's not right. That's not this tool here. Give me this thing. No, quit doing. No, what the? Alright, so that's weird. Like you see, I scrolled down to the tool, and then when I shift, it goes back to that. It's not what I want. Don't do that. What I was trying to do is let me just put that here. I was trying to get this thing back to that position. And give me that. And then if I click on this guy. There it goes. Alright, cool. So I was missing that thing. Alright, awesome. And that's my clear lens. My white lens should be in there, right? Yep. Awesome. That's hooked up to that. Do that. Give me my chest back. Pop that on there. Let's sit here and check this thing out for a second and see if it's I don't know what the advantage to tier 2 is. If it goes, is it supposed to go faster, or is it just able to take upgrades to go faster? Is that what it is? I can put in place of these modifier cores, I can put like speed upgrades or whatever the other ones I was looking at were. Is that what the deal is? It kind of feels like it because I don't think it's really going a whole lot faster than it was before. So sweet. So real quick here, I want to just look and see if how crazy this thing gets. I guess I can just look in the book. As far as material, well, no, because that just tells me I need the blocks, not what they cost, right? Environmental. Can't spell today. Controller tier 3. Take stabilized ender pearls. That seems easy enough. What was that? Tier 4 nether stars. Pfft, no problem. So I am going to have to start mining mica to get to tier 4. And that's with the white lens that I'm going to be using anyway to get that other stuff, right? So that's I'll just have to wait for it to get a couple blocks of that, which is fine. Tier 3 seems... I need mica for that too. Alright, so I'm stuck waiting on this thing to get mica for me. What else is there? There's these machine blocks. I'm wondering if those have any effect. I don't know. Or if they're just like decorative. Wow, nether star per one of those. That would suck if I was worried about nether stars, right? Let's take nether stars too. So I think that's just decorative, right? maybe. I don't think it really has any effect on the... And let's see, what else was there? Mod cores, machine base, and structure block are the two main things I'm worried about. So I'm really just waiting on this thing to get some mica to get the controller and void ore miner. So what's the difference between the ore miner and the resource miner, I wonder? I guess I can look that up. Netherrack, moss stone. Anyway, I'm just kind of getting lost in thought here, just trying to look at how crazy it is to upgrade this thing to the next tier. But I think what I'm going to do is at least get it to tier 3. It looked like I could do that with the materials that I already have. I'll do that kind of off screen, and I want to play around with the modifiers and see how that affects the operation of this thing and how efficient it becomes or doesn't become. So yeah, cool. We'll do that next time. On that note, hope everybody's having a great day today, and we'll catch you on the next one.